You're watching another great interview on Audio Inc. Radio. What's going on? It's Anne Erickson with Audio Inc. Radio. If you're new here, welcome. It's great to have you. And please subscribe. Also give this video a big thumbs up. The great Alex Grossi of Quiet Riot is our guest, and he has a lot of really cool projects to talk about. Very excited to be here with the legendary Alex Grossi. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. Having a good day so far.
Thanks for being here. How have things been going? I mean, it's been such a crazy year and everything. So how are you doing?
All things considered, I've made the best of this whole pandemic thing, between recording new music and finishing up old music that I had previously not had time to do because of all the touring I do. It's actually, I made the best of it. I mean, I do miss playing, but at the same time, it's been nice to be able to be creative without the pressure of having to constantly leave the house to go work. So, it is what it is. We're all in the same boat. So might as well make the best of it,
Of course, you have this Zombies cover on the way. So tell me, what made you and Dizzy want to cover the Zombies? It's a really cool choice.
Well, Dizzy's obviously a keyboard player, and the keyboardist of the Zombies was a big influence on him. And when we first started Hookers and Blow, we put it in the set and we played a live version of it. It was never really all that good in the beginning. And then when we we just got in the studio and decided to record, I said, why don't we try that song? And we put it down, and it kind of morphed into a newer version of like what you hear now is not what it was. And he really went all out with all the keyboards and everything in it. And he had his wife Nadja also sings in the band, and this is the first song she's singing lead on. So it's kind of a cool thing for us. I think it's a good choice. It's a good dichotomy between the other stuff we've released so far. So I like it.
Yeah, how did you guys go about choosing those different artists to cover? Because you really have a broad range of artists.
Well, the Ziggy Stardust by David Bowie is one that we just played literally at every show we've ever done. Same thing with a couple of the Rolling Stones songs. And then the other ones were just songs that we sat down and said, what are the songs we've always wanted to cover or hear somebody cover? And we just made a long list and whittled it down. And when obviously Led Zeppelin, No Quarter, we had Frankie from Quiet Riot. My drummer just passed away. He came in and did it, and that was a song that was really like, it's a song that not any band can cover because it's really long. It's got all the keyboard parts in it, and not too many bands have keyboardists, and not too many bands have access to a guy like Frankie who knows Led Zeppelin probably better than most of the guys in Led Zeppelin. So we were really, we picked what was going to, showcase our strengths and most importantly, stuff that we wanted to do. We weren't worried we don't really care what people think. Obviously, we're Hookers and Blow. We just do what we do. So it was fun. There was no expectations, no plans going in. It just kind of went the way it went.
Awesome. And when do you think the full record will come out? Because you're going to do a whole record of covers, right?
Yeah, the whole record's done. It's up to the label. Whenever the label gets everything in order, I believe May. But yeah, the record's done. We've got 12 tracks in the can. I think May 21st is the date they're playing with, but with everything going on in the world, who knows? As of right now, May 21st, and then our single, I believe, comes out next week. I think. Cool. I don't know. You know better than I do.
Will there be any original music on there?
No, not on this record, but we are also working on a solo record from Dizzy that he wrote. That it's all his own original materials. That's sort of we kind of keep the two separate. And we do play some of it live, but Hookers and Blows always just been a cover band, just been a party. We don't want to. The whole point of it was to not work. Like I'm in Quiet Riot, he's in Guns N' Roses, Johnny's in Danzig, and Mike's in W.A.S.P, and those are gigs that require you to be responsible and on time and sober. And when you get Hookers and Blow together, it's kind of like going on a camping trip with your buddies, getting away from work. So writing music and actually putting time and effort into it, that would constitute work. And that's not what we want to do. We're trying to avoid work.
That's awesome. I love it. That's why the music's so fun. So
yeah. When people come to the shows, they realize within two songs, like, all right, these guys don't give a. We're gonna have a good time tonight. I mean, when the band's drunker than the audience, which in the past, not anymore, we've grown up, but we started this thing 15 years ago, and I mean, there were shows where after the show, the promoter would pay me he'd give me the money and tell me he lost like $1,000 on the show. We drank him on a house and home. Our drummer hit on his wife, and we broke, but he wants us back next month. That's the kind of band we are. The worse we behave, the better we get treated sometimes.
So tell me about your friendship with Dizzy.
Well, I was a huge Guns N' Roses fan growing up, as most of us were. And when I moved to Hollywood in 2002, I met him at this place called the Cat Club, which is no longer there. It was right next door to the Whiskey A Go Go, and it was just kind of the local watering hole for musicians. They had a little stage, and I got up and jammed a couple songs with him, and I got his phone number. And at the time, I don't think GNR was very active, so he was looking to do some work, and I said, well, let's go play some shows in the Midwest or back east where I'm from. And, and I mean, he's like a brother to me at this point. I mean, we played on each other's records for years. We've been through a lot together. And it's a very, we have a very good relationship because, I mean, we have a lot of respect. There's a lot of mutual respect for each of our musical abilities, but also as people too. Like, he's a really good person. And I think that it's, he likes to surround himself with good people as well. And we try to keep it that way. There's no ego, there's no bullshit, not your typical rock star shit. He's in the biggest band in the world and you'd never know it. He's the sweetest, most down to earth guy,
It was so sad last year when we lost Frankie from Quiet Riot.
Yeah, that was absolutely devastating because I've been in the band for 17 years now with Frankie, and the guy pretty much raised me. Like when I moved to Hollywood when I was 25, I didn't know anybody, and there's not much in the way of people trying to keep you responsible out there. And when I met up with Kevin DuBrow and Frankie, they kind of took me under their wing and looked out for me, not only as a musician but as like a big brothers, and yeah, it's devastating. I mean, it's horrifying, and for him to have to go through what he went through, it was 16 months of fighting that fucking disease, just horrible. But I do take solace in the fact that A, he's out of pain now. I don't know, wherever he is, he's probably in a much better place. And B, he left the earth at just the right time because it's going crazy.
That's true.
No, but I miss him every day. But I feel him around me, and I think with the band continuing on, and with the band being his baby the way it was, I think that that's how you are immortal. You're still there. I mean, he's not here, but he is here. We're talking about him right now, and some radio station in Wisconsin is playing Mental Health right now. I guarantee it.
Yeah. No, I'm sure you're right. What do you miss most about him?
Just being, I miss just having the day-to-day text message exchanges and just jokes and laughs. I mean, the music's one thing, but when you're in a band with someone, it's like you're married to them. It's like you're having a brother, or three brothers, and it's like we lost a brother, literally. I mean, because it was every day. I mean, if something really funny happened, I'd have to call him and tell him about it. Something really bad happened, tragedy. We went through a lot together, good and bad. With Kevin dying and then getting the band back after Kevin dying, and then all the burning through all the singers till everything. I don't know if you saw our movie or not, but we have a documentary that documented.
I've actually seen that. Yeah.
Oh, you've seen it? Yeah. That's that was over 5 years, and that was shot over 5 years of our lives, and we went through a lot together, and I miss having that. He was always the anchor and the rock in Quiet Riot. I mean, he held everything together. If Kevin had some sort of issue, or Kevin went sideways, or the promoter went sideways, or the airlines went sideways, Frankie fixed it. He was the guy. He was like the wolf in Pulp Fiction. You remember the wolf?
I've never seen Pulp Fiction. I know it's very sad.
Oh my God! Well, when we're done with this, watch Pulp Fiction and call me back. And when I say Winston Wolfe, you'll know what I'm talking about. And anyone watching this out there, you'll know what I'm talking about too. But no, I just miss him. I mean, he was a great person, and he was the world is definitely a little bit of a quieter and not as cool of a place without him, for sure.
Do you feel like you're kind of carrying on his legacy by keeping Quiet Riot going and stuff?
Well, yeah. I mean, I feel that it's his legacy, it's Kevin's legacy, it's that whole genre's legacy. I mean, we're all listen. 10 out of 10 people are going to die. Okay, that's a fact. So when the time comes where a lot of these guys are no longer around, but that music's still out there, people are going to want to hear it. And it's especially 80s metal, those bands were so big and so iconic. There's going to be, you're still going to see a version of Kiss or probably a version of Motley Crue out there 20 years from now. Who knows? Because at the end of the day, it's a brand name, it's a license to print money, and people want to hear it. Why wouldn't you? I mean, when Ray Kroc died, did they stop making cheeseburgers? Or did Ray Kroc die? I don't know. I should have said that.
I think so.
Yeah, well, if he didn't die when he does, there's still going to be a McDonald's. How about that?
That works.
Yeah.
So what do you think of the term hair metal? Because some people just hate that term. I mean, I use it. I don't mind it, but what do you think about it?
It's just, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I mean, it's when I hear hair metal, I think of Motley Crue, Poison, Rat, Quiet Riot, Cinderella, and I know that that's what they're talking about. I mean, they call it butt rock, they could call it hair metal, they can call it cheese metal, they call it whatever you want. I call it those bands. I mean, they call those Cookie Monster metals. The more modern stuff, Cookie Monster metal. That's another term that they get offended about. It's like, well, you kind of sound like Cookie Monster, dude. Sorry, that's where it came from. And we have hair, so I guess we play metal. So wow, where'd that go figure?
So you have so many different projects. Is there anything new with Beautiful Creatures?
I just saw Joe Lusté. He came out to Vegas to visit with me a couple weeks ago, and we talked about some new music. I mean, right now it's weird because no one's touring, and it's really kind of, to put out new product now. It's a moot point. It would really fall on deaf ears. But we're still together, and the band originally had DJ Ashba on guitar before me. This is the 20th anniversary of when the first record came out, and our plan was to do a big 20th anniversary party in Hollywood to celebrate, and have DJ play as well or whatever if he was available. But then the pandemic hit, and that all went to shit. So at some point we will do something though.
That was one of my first concerts, actually. You guys were on tour with like Tantric, I think, or maybe Days in the New.
That was right before I joined the band, but yeah, that was
okay.
That was like probably 2001, something like that.
Yeah, totally the era.
Yeah.
I love you guys. I think you guys are great. So.
Oh, cool. I love that band. That band. When I heard that record, I was still living back east, and I said, these guys are really good. And I had no idea it was a singer for Bang Tango in the band. He totally hid the fact that he was in Bang Tango. And then when I met him and I joined the band, I go, yeah, I know you. Joe. I mean, I'm referring to Joe, but yeah, no, they were really cool. They were part of that Buck Cherry kind of trying to bring back the cock rock thing in that little time period. And Buck Cherry, stuck a little more than Creatures did, but I think Creatures definitely put out a couple good records, and I'm proud of the work I did with them. So definitely a fun thing to have on the resume for sure.
What's ahead for you with Quiet Riot and just everything that you're up to?
Well, Quiet Riot's we actually, believe it or not, we have shows coming up. Quiet Riot's got a socially distanced big theater show in 4 weeks at a place called the Landis Theater in Vineland, New Jersey. It's limited tickets, but that's going to happen. And then from there, I'm flying to Texas to do a run with Hookers and Blow, socially distanced, COVID compliant. Everyone's sitting down with masks on, but we're doing dates. And other than that, I'm working on some new stuff with Dizzy. We're talking about doing some acoustic stuff. Because once the pandemic hit, we had to start recording virtually. Like I've done everything in my studio here. Every track you hear on the record, I'd say about 50% of them were done here in my studio. We have not been in the same room for months.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna definitely we'll keep moving forward, but we got to pick and choose when we put stuff out, because like I said, with everything going on, who knows what's going to happen with touring. I mean, I think already this summer is going to fall apart. I don't think that Motley Crue tour is going to happen or anything like that.
I kind of feel that way too. I mean, It's just too soon.
It's too soon. It's too soon. And I mean, if they're canceling 2,000 to 3,000 seat shows, there's no way they're going to put 50,000 people in a football stadium with the vaccine coming out. Yeah, it's not going to happen. But of course, they're not going to tell anybody that because they don't want to give their money back. But they'll keep postponing it.
Right,
You know?
right.
So
Oh my gosh.
so in 2027, the stadium tour with Def Leppard and Motley Crue, you'll have that ticket from 2020 and 2027. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I know. I miss concerts so much. I mean, it's cool that you guys have some socially distant stuff, but I just can't wait until
It's
hopefully it goes back to normal.
Yeah, there's nothing like that. We did Hookers and Blow did a live stream out here in Vegas at a venue that actually is open, and they let in a couple hundred people, but it's 1,000 seat room, so they're all spread out, and we're playing, and everyone's sitting down with masks, and no one can get up and get a drink. It's like it wasn't fun. I mean, I miss it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, Alex, it's been great chatting with you. Congrats on all the success, and I look forward to all your new music coming out.
Oh, thank you for having me. And anytime, yeah, we hope to get back out there as soon as it's safe. And yeah, the new single comes out, I believe, February 8th, Time of the Season by the Zombies.